Eager British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is attempting something of a reset today as he faces a growing threat to his leadership following disastrous local and regional elections. Starmer telling the UK Parliament he's taking responsibility to ensure positive change is brought about, but warning if the Labor government doesn't get it right, the country will go down a very dark path. He's promising a bigger response in areas such as economic growth, energy and also closer European ties.
The election results last week were tough, very tough.
We lost some brilliant Labour representatives. That hurts. And it should hurt. I get it. I feel it. And I take responsibility. This hurts not just because Labour has done badly, but because if we don't get this right, our country will go down a very dark path.
Let's cross now to Bénédicte Paviot in London. Bénédicte, what exactly did the British Prime Minister have to say?
Well, first, he took responsibility several times during that speech, as we heard one of the times he did just there in that clip. He said we were facing dangerous times and dangerous opponents, very dangerous opponents, he said. I think that's very much a reference to people creating division in this country. And he named them later on in his speech, the leader of Reform UK, that of course, that party that's done so well in the local elections last Thursday and in the devolved parliaments of Scotland and Wales, Nigel Farage. He also named Zach Polanski, the leader of the Greens, who have performed well also up and down the country in these elections. He acknowledged, and I quote him, "Some people are frustrated with me," he admitted, and he said that he knew that there were doubters. Well, it would be hard not to, because within his own party there are very many disgruntled, frustrated MPs who were looking to today's pivotal speech as a make or break speech. He added, "I know I need to prove them wrong, and I will." He underlined quite a lot of his government, he said, successes, and he said, although he acknowledged that they had made mistakes, he said they got the big political choices right. And he said, I mean, if we'd listened to the advice of other parties right now, we'd be stuck in a standoff with Iran, having been dragged into a war that is not in our interest, and I will never do that. He also accused Nigel Farage of being very, very divisive, of not just being a grifter, he said, but a chancer. That basically, he said that Nigel Farage had lied to this country about Brexit. It had not made it richer but poorer, not stronger, but weaker. He talked about the legislation that would be in the King's speech, which we will cover on France 24 on Wednesday during the state opening of Parliament, and we will get more fleshing out of something, of course, that might seem, well, that is definitely something that Nigel Farage is against, and that is a closer relationship with the EU, with the European Union. But we understand, although he didn't specify it, that that will still stay within the red lines of the Labour manifesto 2 years ago, and therefore no rejoining of the EU, no rejoining of the customs union, and no rejoining of the single market. And he announced the nationalisation of British steel.
Against this backdrop, Bénédicte, is there likely now to be a leadership challenge regardless?
Well, that is for the Labour Party MPs to decide. Parliament is not sitting right now. As I said, it will be reopened on Wednesday. So it's not quite as easy for MPs to meet up, but via WhatsApp groups, phone calls, they will be talking to each other. And the one that we'll all be watching is Catherine West. Catherine West, previously a low-profile Labour MP, and who has become very prominent in the last 48 hours. Why? Because she has said that if she's not convinced by the speech that Keir Starmer has just made, then she will seek to get 80 or 81 other names to set off formally that leadership challenge. So all to play for. What will Catherine West and other disgruntled MPs believe? It is make or break. We will find out in the coming hours what their reaction is, and if there is indeed the ultimate threat to trying to oust this Prime Minister 2 years, less than 2 years, after a very comfortable victory. That was back in July 24, 2024, when he stood 2 meters behind in front of that number 10 door, came out and talked about change, implementing change. So we will see. Will they change him?
Bénédicte Paviot reporting there from London. Thank you.